Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, write a Java program to print stars using for loop where the number of stars printed should be equal to the number of row number. Let me demonstrate this program in a practical way. For that, I'll switch to this Eclipse IDE. Here I'm going to create a new class. I'll just name this class as, let's say, class 11, some random name. With main method I'll create. So what do we have to achieve is something like this, okay? So I'm going to print this program is going to print something like this and just put some, inside the comments I'll provide what to do and all. Okay, here let's say if there are 5 rows, in the first row only, in the row 1, only 1 star should be there. In the second row, we should have 2 stars. In the third row, we should have 3 stars. In the fourth row, we should have 4 stars. In the fifth row, we should have 5 stars. Depending on the number of rows, the number of stars in that particular row should be equal to the number of the row. In the first row, single star should be there. In the second row, 2 stars should be there. In the third row, 3 stars should be there. In the fourth row, 4 stars. Fifth row, 5 stars. If you have 10th row, 10 stars should be there. Okay, that's what we have to achieve, guys. So how to write the code so that this kind of thing will be achieved. Okay, so number of stars in the program should be equal to the number of rows. Okay, so this kind of thing we want. So we can do one thing, that is we can get the number of rows from the user as an input. Okay, we can get the number of rows, how many rows you want to print these stars. You can get it from the user. Scanner is equal to new scanner, and here inside this scanner write down system.in and say control shift O and import this. After importing this scanner class from java.util package, write a print statement asking the user in the output. During the runtime, the user will enter how many rows he or she wants the stars to be printed. Okay. So how enter the number of rows? Enter the number of rows to be printed. Okay, number of rows to be printed like that. If the user will give 5 rows, means 5 rows will be stars will be printed in the 5 rows. If the user will give 10, means stars will be printed in the 10 rows like that. Okay. So here I'll write down scanner dot next int. So here I'll say int rows. Okay, I'll collect the rows from the user. Now I need to write a logic here. Depending on the rows I'm getting, for int I is equal to 1. I'll start with 1, first row, let's say. Okay, I less than or equal to the number of rows, that is rows, I plus plus, semicolon, I plus plus. This is what I will write. So that how many rows means that many rows it will go. Okay, now in that inner for loop you write int j is equal to 1, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus. Okay, if the row is 1, here in that first row, how many stars should be printed? Only 1. That's why I'm writing the logic like j less than or equal to 1. Okay. So now I'll explain the logic, guys. Don't worry. Here I'll write system.out.println. Here I'll print, instead of println, I'll use print statement because it should print multiple stars in the same line. So in the double quotes, I'll give asterisk symbol. Okay, asterisk symbol should be printed, guys. And if you run this code, all the stars will be printed in the same line. So after the for loop, you have to write system.out.println. That's it. Empty println statement is enough there. I'll just reduce the number of lines here so that you can see all the code at a place. Here also, I'll remove the lines so that you can see the code properly. Okay, I think this is good. This is good so far. So here what I am doing is I'm collecting the input from the user, that is number of rows. Here for int I will be 0. I will be 1, sorry. The initial value of I is what? 1. I is 1 here. I is 1. I'll just simply say I1. Current value of I is 1. 1 less than number of rows. Let's suppose that the user has entered 5 as the number of rows. 1 less than or equal to 5 is true. Right? 1 less than or equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside the for loop. Inside that for loop, when I became 1, the inner for loop, j is 1. J also became 1. Here, j is also 1. Okay, j is also 1. I is 1 and then j is 1. Then after that, 1 less than or equal to I. Current value of I is 1. 1 equal to I is true. So we'll go inside that asterisk. Single star will be printed. Next, j will become 2. Next, j will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 1 is false. So we'll come out of the for loop. Only 1 star will be printed. Okay. After that, will here print statement is there. So after this end of the inner for loop, when it comes outside, right, it will go to the new line where I will become 2, guys. When I will become 2, so 2 less than or equal to 5, true again. We'll go inside that when I is 2. Here int j is equal to 1. 1 less than, currently j became 1. 1 less than or equal to 2 is true. Current value of I is 2. So 1 less than or equal to 2 is true. So here one star will be printed. Again, here print ln is not there. Print is there in the same line. J plus plus will happen. J will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 2 again true. Again one more star will be printed in the same line. So in the second row, how many stars got printed? 2 stars. When j becomes 3, 3 less than or equal to 2 will become false. Will come out of the inner for loop and will go to the new line. And here I will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 5 is true. Come again. Here j is equal to 1 will become 1 less than or equal to 3. Star will be printed. Then j will become 2. Again, 2 less than or equal to 3. One more star will be printed in the same line. J will become 3 because of j plus plus. 3 less than or equal to 3 is also true. One more star will be printed in the third line. Okay, 3 stars. In the third row, we have 3 stars. When j becomes 4, 4 less than or equal to 3 will become false and will come out and will go to the new line finally. Then I will become 4. 4 less than or equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside. Here, j will become 1 again. J is equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to 4, true again. One star will be printed. J plus plus, j will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 4, true. Another star will be printed in the same line. J will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 4 is again true. The same star will be printed in the same line. Okay, another star will be printed. J will become 4. 4 less than or equal to 4 is also true. Fourth star will be printed in the same line. And finally, when j becomes 5, 5 less than or equal to 4 is false. Will come out of the inner for loop. Will go to the new line. Then I will become 5. 5 less than or equal to 5 is again true. We'll go inside that. Again, j will become 1. 1 less than or equal to I means 5. Current value of I is 5. 1 less than or equal to 5 is true. First star will be printed. J will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. Again, star will be printed. J will be 3. 3 less than or equal to 5. Third star will be printed in the same line. J will become 4. 4 less than or equal to I. Fourth star will be printed in the same line. 5. Fifth star will be printed in the same line. And when j becomes 6, 6 less than or equal to 5 is false. Finally, we'll come out of the inner for loop after printing 5 stars in the fifth row. And we'll go to the new line. And here I will become 6. 6 less than or equal to 5 is false. We'll come out of the for loop. This is how the program will work when the user enters the rows as 5. Okay. So here at the end of the code, you write down, just close this object, guys, so that this warning will go off. Copy this scanner object and simply say dot close. Okay, just close it. As a good practice or best practice, you have to do that. Now run the code and observe that whatever the number the user enters, the number of rows, accordingly, the stars in each row will be equal to the number of rows. Okay, so if I give 5 means total how many rows of stars came? First row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. In the first row, only 1 star is there. In second row, 2 stars are there. In third row, third star is 3 stars. Fourth row, 4 stars. Fifth row, 5 stars. If I run it again and if I give some number like, let's say 10, very big number will, 10 rows will come and the number of stars in that particular row will be equal to the number of rows. Number of the row. That is, in the first row, only 1 star will be the second row, 2 stars, third row, 3 stars, fourth row, 4 stars, fifth row, 5 stars, sixth row, 6 stars, seventh row, 7 stars, eighth row, 8 stars, ninth row, 9 stars, and 10th row, 10 stars. Like this, guys, you can give any type of number, okay, any number. Based on that, that particular number of rows will be printed and the stars in that particular row will be equal to the row number. Okay, the number of stars in that particular row will be equal to the row number. So hope, guys, with practical demonstration, you got the answer for this question. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.